Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear viewer of Islamic Iman TV and program of Believes in Believer. I hope everybody being healthy and off of the pandemic misfortune corona inshallah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي صدق الله العظيم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين آمين. As you know, today is the translation from the last week of program, which was the Giraish Bazat Ilahi, if you remember. Today is the translation of that. As you see the top of this written, the sign is tendency to God. You see it as a headline on the top of my board in the back. So the tendency to God. The synonyms of this word of the tendency is trust in God or relay in God, which all this same meaning, to have a good intention to Almighty God or all Almighty God. Rhetorically, in the life of believer, that is his trust. Believer has trust that he can earn the love of Allah, of God. And God loves those who trust Him. Allah mentioned in the Quran very frankly that is saying, Inna Allah yuhibbul mutawakkilin. Therefore, the definition of trust is meaning that of tendency. And another word, the trust relationship is considered between man and God, because the believers believe of God's promises that are all true and right. So when a person wants to earn the love of Allah, must rely on His promises. Reliance, items of beliefs, is a fully submission to Allah and all His commands. And somehow it would tight relationship with Allah and man. However, the word of trust that we use in English language does not give proper or direct meaning or explanation of tawakkul, the word of tawakkul, because the word of tawakkul is Arabic, in Quranic verses. By itself is changeable. The word of tawakkul by an Arabic is changeable. It gives different meanings for different purpose. Like muakkal, wakil, trust, and lawyer. In Quran, 24 times used as a liar, lie, like a lawyer, like a representative of you for your case, liar, mentioned in the Quran 24 times. One should not take a lawyer other than Allah. He is the one. For example, Allah mentioned in Surah Asra that said, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ عَلَيْهِمْ وَكِيلًا. I am not sent you to be guardians for any. In Arabic, the expression of trust is you got liar, or you gave a job to someone to do for you something as a representative. We call it wakil. In Surah Sajda, verse number 11, Allah mentioned يتوفاكم الملك الموت الذي أكل بكم. The Malak al-Maut, or the Malak of death, who is put in charge of you, will cause you to die. So use of Okul is representative from Allah. Also, the meaning of trust can be acceptance. That's the meaning of the reliance or relay on God, is the one should do the work, but with the confidence in God. And the best evidence for this explanation is the verse of Quran, Surah Al-Imran, verse number 159 and 159 said, فَإِذَا عَزَمَتْ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُتَوَكِّلِينَ. But when you have determined for something to do, that is your part of your job, to start for action, then you rely upon Allah. Surely He loves the reliance. Mutawakkilin. The word of tawakkul in English is trust or lawyer, has been used a total of more than or about 70 times according to the information of internet that anyway, which all emphasis that trust should only be on Allah only. Whoever seeks refuge in Allah will seek refuge in Him, and whoever trusts in Allah will suffice. Anybody trust Allah is suffice. Whoever trusts in God, failures does not mean anything to him, because he just has to do his duty, and the result is Allah. And Allah is invincible, unbreakable, stay all the same, which means trusting in Almighty God and entrusting all one's affairs to Him. Of course, a complete trust in God does not prevent us from resorting to the means, and these two are necessary for each other. This valuable attribute is obtained if man knows all the things that are done in his world by God, and those not considered by power to effective except for Him, and believer that He is not around except through Him, Allah. If a person truly believes in these, he will trust God in his heart and rely on Him, and because of that, trust in Allah will increase day by day, become more stronger. Trust or tawakkul in Arabic is a divine guarantee for one who is always a supporter. Allah is supporter for the truth. For truth. The Holy Quran says, do not be afraid to walk the path of truth and trust in God. Do not be afraid of false power and trust in God. Quran gave us a story from the previous prophets. After Prophet Nuh alayhi salam. There's people were against these prophets always, and the people told were they make them mischievous, but they were perseverance. Those prophets were very perseverance and told people, we are not the guardian of God, while Allah has guided us to our way, our decision, to our determine. The verse of Quran is like this is saying, وَلَنَّصْبِرَنَّ عَلَى مَا آذَيْتُمُونَا وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُتَوَكِّلِينَ. We shall certainly persevere in spite of the harm you people do to us. Those prophets told the people, you people does for us a lot of mischievous anyway. Should our reliance is to Allah, and of course we will wait for the persecution you people inflicted on us. The prophets told the people, and the people of trust must rely only on Almighty God. They recommend them. Here is the main point from the all Quranic verses, or forbids sitting and holding hands, and says, do your work and trust in God. Start your first and do it. So, and then trust to Allah. However, our subject is tendency to God. Means predilections or leaning to Almighty God. When we want to do something in our daily life, and as I recited in the all Quranic verses, and then means that you have to start first and then rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the recommendation of Allah is just like this. And then right now I have to give you one break here. Inshallah, I come back to talk more about the tawakkul to Allah today. Stay with me.